So hello there, my name's Dane the Metro, welcome to the review, and this is a review on some tankers in the Hornby Thomas the Tank Engine range. Now, as you're probably aware, the Thomas the Tank Engine Hornby range has been discontinued, and however you can get the Bachmann range, which is basically the equivalent. But I really like these wagons, and I think they're really well detailed. Probably not as detailed as the other trucks you can buy in Hornby now, the more modern ones. But definitely detailed in the sense that I think, in particular, they look very similar to the trucks in the television series. So first off, got the oil tanker here. I've actually got another one as well, and it's funny, this one, if you put them side by side, the one I've got here has no weathering on it, whereas the other one does, and you can see this if you look around the wheels, that the other's a bit more weathered than this one. And it's a bit strange really, because in Thomas the Tank Engine, none of the engines are really that heavily weathered, apart from perhaps Salty maybe, and the narrow gauge engines. But like I said, yeah, they're not really. So this one isn't really weathered, but like I said, the other one is. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of weathering. I think on some locos it looks great, but personally, it's not for me. And you know, if you actually do weather your locomotives, it's you have to do it really carefully. And obviously, if it's not quite right, it doesn't really look that good. And I actually thought these oil tankers first appeared in Series 8. However, I was wrong. When I do my research, found out it was actually in Series 6. You can see on the track here next to Percy. And if you look in a lot of the Thomas episodes, the oil tankers quite heavily weathered, and the writing on the sides faded. And you can get these in the Bachmann range as well. There was the original one that had oil written on the side, and there was also the other one with a different logo on it instead. But I prefer the Hornby one. So I've got a milk tank here as well, and again I really like the milk tanker. Looks just like it does again in the TV series. They first appeared in Series 1, and again in some episodes there was white tankers like this that didn't have any writing on, so I'm assuming they're milk tankers. I mean, there was a silver one in the background of some episodes as well. I don't know if they were for milk or not, but I do like these. And again, in some episodes, if you look at the milk tankers, they were actually weathered as well. But say these ones are quite, apart from say the oil tanker, they're immaculate. So yeah, the milk tanker, tankers should I say, appeared in the Railway series, but it looks a lot more different. And like I said, a lot of the tankers have appeared now in the CGI series, but they look a lot more different. The logos are different on the side of them. And when they brought out in the Bachmann G-scale range or even HO range, and they tend to look like they do in the CGI animated series. And as I said before, I'm not as keen on that series as I am the model series of the show. I do think they look a lot better than the model series, and these capture that quite well, I think it's fair to say. But I definitely think that my favourite trucks that Hornby produce are actually the Circus Trucks, and I've got quite a few of those, so they're my favourite ones that they've released. And the tar wagons that I was talking about earlier have appeared in the CGI animated series, and I think they look fairly similar to what they did in the TV series. Though in Series 10 they looked a bit different. I think it was mainly because of the font that was used for the word tar on the side of the wagons. And when the Thomas range was reintroduced in 2015, before it got discontinued again, they brought this pack out, because this came in a pack of 3. And when they come out again, they were brought out again. However, it came with the tar wagon. The oil tanker was included, it was the tar wagon. And I do have some of the tar wagons. And I've got some oil trucks and the other tankers as well. And I've also got the ice cream ones as well. And the ice cream ones were only really seen in the episode Too Hot for Thomas, although the cream tanker, again, appeared in the Bachmann range, and then it was also seen in the CGI series, and then when Bachmann reintroduced it, they made it look like it did in the CGI series. But I much prefer the Hornby ones, because I think they're a lot more in scale, and again, I think Hornby have done a much better job. And you know, some people say obviously that some of the engines in Hornby don't look as good as they do in the Bachmann range, which I do sort of agree with. But I think Hornby done a much better job with the wagons than Bachmann did. That's my personal opinion. I've run these on a few occasions. They run really, really nicely. And last off, we've got the fuel tanker. And the fuel tanker is one of my more favourite ones, I think it's fair to say. And again, there's been some yellow tankers that appeared in the background of some episodes without any writing on them. I'm assuming that they're the fuel trucks as well. I'm not too sure. But I really like these ones, particularly the red flammable liquid sign as well you've got. And also, I mean, in the TV show there were some fuel tankers that were painted black as well, that James pulled. But these look just like they did in the TV series. And so most of the time when these were seen in the TV series, they had Sodor fuel written on the side like this. So yeah, I think these are some great wagons, and I definitely recommend that you get them if you can. And in my view, I'd give them a 10 out of 10 the way they look. And like I said, obviously, as you saw earlier, they do run really nicely as well. Like I said, these are discontinued, and like I said, I've got quite a few of them, but I think it makes sense to have a few of them because obviously you want to create a fairly long train. As well, there were tankers in the railway series. There was a yellow one like this that did have a face on it, and in the TV series, some of the tankers had faces on them as well. And the faces that were on them, because as you're probably aware, the engines and that had face masks when the show was made using models. And the faces that the tankers had were actually the ones that were used on the trucks on the narrow gauge engines pulled, so they were a lot smaller. But yeah, I really like these wagons, and so I definitely recommend that you get them if you can. And these particular ones, like I said, these came in a pack of 3, and I got these Worley, the NEC in Birmingham model show that I went to every year. Obviously it's not on this year because of what's going on, but again, like I said, I do recommend, let's say if you go to model railway shows and things like that, you will find ones like this for a good price, and I'm quite happy with them. And as you probably saw on some of my other ones, they've got the sticker in the corner for Jay's Chemist, which is a shop in Elles Barton. They used to sell lots of model railway stuff. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.